Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Talk Podcast. My name is Sergej. How are you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine myself. And today we're gonna be talking about hacking in TV and movies, why it is usually bad, and maybe we'll come up with an idea of how we can make a good movie about hacking in the process.
Hell yeah. Where do we start?
Well, you said you've seen it done well once, so how about we start there?
All right, sure. It was in a movie called Who Am I? That was actually a German movie filmed in Germany. God, let me find info on it.
Okay, I mean, sure.
I don't know.
You don't.
I actually, yeah, I don't know what kind of stuff to say about it.
Okay, I mean,
Except,
sure. I mean, I guess the question is, right, like, why do you think they did a good job of it, I guess, is the real question there.
Because, like, like from a TV series standpoint, Mr. Robot was also pretty good. Like, it showed it showed how it's actually being done, right?
Yes.
And Who Am I also basically does the same. Like, it doesn't do the two people at a keyboard thing that some other TV shows or movies do. It takes some creative liberties, but it does basically show how it would have been performed in the real world.
I guess the main question for me with these sort of things is, like, how much does it actually matter? To, like, completely, like, sidestep the actual topic here, but, like, I find that in most cases, even when I know that they're being silly, it doesn't bother me oftentimes. I mean, yes, some of them are very much, like, eye-rollingly silly. But most of the time, it doesn't really matter whether it's realistic or not. And the most important thing here is that oftentimes the more realistic part isn't actually as exciting to watch, right? Because hacking is not a very visual thing in the first place. And then furthermore, you don't do the thing where, like, one person is, like, typing the hack out while the other person is, like, typing up, like, better firewalls or whatever at the same time. And so they're, like, actually having, like, a hacking battle or whatever, which, like, obviously, absolutely, like, stupid. I mean, yes, you might sit on your keyboard while your company's getting hacked and, like trying to shut down servers or something, but, like, you're not gonna actually, like, write a new firewall while they're hacking into your system. You're, like, you might be closing some ports, you might be, like, taking servers offline or something, but you're not gonna actually, like, be, like, or counter hacking them where, like, while they're in your system, you're actually getting in their system, and you're like no, none of this makes any sense.
The thing is, you can do most of that, but you can do it realistically without this bullshit of, like, two people at a keyboard. You can have all this drama that they want, but you can do it properly. Like, all of that is possible. Like, this movie and Mr. Robot have shown that it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there is some, I was gonna say, like, how much is Mr. Robot actually about hacking? Like, I've seen the first season, but I guess it is, like, it is very much not just an aesthetic, it is very much plot relevant. Although the guy is, like, fucked up psyche is, like, really almost more of a factor. Which then
it kinda is, yeah.
Then there's the question, like, how good actually is the like, how good is their like, mental health representation there? Like, how realistic is, like, their portrayal of, like, split identities or whatever? Because I'm pretty sure that is where we get into, like, more questionable territory again.
Probably, right? I have no idea.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but some of that seemed a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. But, like, on the topic of, like, why does it matter? It's, like, kind of a show of appreciation like, or a show of care given to the story. Like if the parts do check out, at least mostly.
Yes. The counterpoint is, it is not unusual for shows to actually not show how crimes are actually done, because they don't want to teach people how to do it. Now, granted, I'm not gonna say that Mr. Robot is exactly a tutorial, right? Like, I mean, I've only seen the first season, but
Yeah.
I don't think you can, like, do what he does just from watching the show. Maybe you have some keywords to research if you want to learn how to do it, but you're not exactly gonna know how to do it just from, like, seeing it done once. But yes, that is one of the reasons I've heard why sometimes they intentionally don't use the most realistic depictions, which I think is stupid, because, like, the internet exists, and if you want to learn how to do it, you can.
Yeah.
Right? So this is...
Much more efficiently than watching a movie
Yeah.
or a TV show. And especially with hacking, it's even more absurd to like just recreate what you saw in a movie without knowing anything what actually happens there.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that goes into it, and like so much obscure knowledge that you need to have that like even most techies don't know to like
Yeah, I mean,
successfully perform a hack.
I can't hack.
I don't either. Like, I know some superficial stuff that, like, if something is extremely badly programmed, I might be able to hack it, but...
Okay, listen, right? If your, like, input field allows me to do an SQL injection, like, I can do an SQL injection because it's just writing SQL in a text field. But, like...
Right?
That is, like, not realistically something you're basically ever gonna encounter unless it's, like, some guy in their basement writing the code, right? Like, if it's... Well, actually, most of the basement dwellers actually, like, good on the cybersecurity, and... but you know what I mean, right? Like if it's like a one-person project and they don't know anything about cybersecurity, sure. But as soon as it's, like, an actual, like, professional website, or even just, like, done with a kit, right? Because I'm pretty sure if you, like, do one of those website builders, they probably are already gonna do, like, oh, this text can only be interpreted as text. They're like the very basic, like, don't interpret this as code ever thing that you can do for a text field.
I mean, those will usually have different kinds of security vulnerabilities, but yeah, nothing that simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, while not really hacking, I've seen... Well, I personally haven't seen, but I've heard people in the tech sphere talk about movies about programming, not hacking, programming, that have been pretty good, that have also been pretty well received. I think the movie about like Facebook, I forgot how it's called, Social Network or something.
Yeah, I think it's a Social Network. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but like from what I've seen on the net, the reactions to it, and like it was pretty well received, and it appears to have like good portrayal of like how it is to program.
Okay.
It's not entirely accurate. The time spans were shortened quite a bit, but they're still there. They're still shown.
Which again is the thing I was talking about with the hacking, right? Like actually like showing someone like sitting in a room and like working on a couple months to try to like exploit a vulnerability somewhere is gonna be terribly boring.
Exactly.
So,
but movies and TV shows do have the ability to shorten time spans into seconds.
You can either like just like say that it happened faster than it would in the real world, or you could just like be like 9 months later, and it's just, you know.
Yeah.
Which I do find the idea amusing actually now that about like doing like a TV show or a movie about hacking, and it like actually like takes place over a span of years, just because it turns out it's not actually that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of bad hacking, and I was actually wondering if you wanted to make a hacking movie, right? Which I guess is sort of maybe the idea of what we're trying to like conceptualize here.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think it would be kind of amusing to like intentionally do a bunch of the bad things, right? To like, I know that's not what you want, and I'm not saying we should like work this out right now.
Yeah.
I feel like
that would be funny.
I feel like actually agree. Like maybe like as a comedy even, where it's like intentionally like really bad, unrealistic hacking. Yeah, I mean, again, I think that scene from NCS that you referenced right by there, like typing on the same keyboard, is like probably one of the most egregious examples. I mean, there's also a very famous scene from CSI Cyber where like basically every word they say makes no sense. But at least it's just like the Tiger Bible explanation, which you can get away with just like throwing in a couple of acronyms that actually exist and just calling it a
What
name.
was it? GUI interface in Visual Basic to track the hacker's IP address or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's like, the show is called CSI Cyber, it's about cybercrime. Like, it's the one thing that you're supposed to be good at. Like, what are you doing? Like, I find that one actually, in some ways, the most egregious. Because despite the fact that, yes, it's just a technobabble, the show is called CSI Cyber. It's about cybercrime.
Yeah.
Like, if any show was supposed to get this right, it's you. Like, if this had just been like one of the other, many other CSI shows, I would have been like, fine, whatever. Right? It's not their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, speaking of CSI shows and generally crime dramas, enhance, enhance. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that nowadays you can sort of do that.
Well, but AI image upscaling is still just like guessing, right? If you have 3 pixels, you can't get much more out of that.
Yes, but also to a certain extent, it does actually reveal information that was extremely hard to access before.
Yeah, but
if you have a couple frames of like a video of someone moving,
yeah,
you can extract so much more detail from that than
yeah. Also,
like
I'm assuming
you would see in like a still frame or going through them frame by frame.
because of how it interpolates the colors from the actual like sensor information in a moving image, you can probably like composite them basically back into like try to get a high resolution where it's like, oh, this pixel is like getting darker when it moves over there, so that there's actually dark there and light there. Like,
Yeah,
very simplified.
you can like double or triple, quadruple resolution from a video.
But yeah, no, I've once literally seen them resolve something from the reflection of someone's eyeball, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
if you have a high enough resolution
No,
camera,
we're
I'm sure
getting
you could do
silly.
that, but not on like a box standard security camera where the person themselves was already kind of pixely, and you zoom in to their eye and it becomes like crystal clear, and then you zoom into the reflection, you're inverted because it's backwards. Well, not invert, that's colors usually, you know what I mean, like, you like mirror it,
Yeah.
and, and like zoom in and unstretch and everything is like, and then they read a license plate from that. It's like, dude, I think it was last, but in the particular scene, it's like, how do you get a license plate from someone's reflection in their eyeballs when you can barely recognize the face of the person in the original footage?
Yeah.
I mean, it's amusing to me,
Mhm.
which again is why I feel like I've seen somewhere, I don't know if I've seen it directly or if I've seen it just mentioned as a bad example, where they actually like flipped it around. Like, they actually like changed the perspective of the image, and it's like, it's an image! You can't see anything that's not in the image! I mean, reflections are one thing, but like, huh? Although, something that you can actually do, I don't think anymore, but, so, in, I think it was in Windows Snipping Tools, or maybe it was in another editing program, where if you cropped an image, it would actually not change any of the saved information, it would just basically like add the crop to it. And so all the data that was outside of the cropped radius would actually still be in the image file. And if you sent them over a service that just would send the files without reprocessing them, you would actually sometimes be able to extract the uncropped image from a cropped image you were sent. That's like actually a real thing you could do, which is basically like looking beyond the frame of a photo, but in a way where it's not unrealistic. So yeah, if someone sent you something over Discord,
like the idea.
If someone sent something over Discord, like over 2 years ago, I think, then if it's a cropped image, you might be able to uncrop it still. I think now Discord reprocesses images so that mostly for file size reasons, but that also then limits the
which
vulnerability.
is absolutely stupid. I have actually dealt with that a bit in the past, and I'm still dealing with that, Discord reprocessing images. And most of the time it doesn't even save disk space.
Okay.
Just does it for no reason.
Yeah, but a lot of services do like strip any like junk data and metadata and stuff. That metadata stripping is also one of those things where like it's generally a good thing to do, like
Yep.
because people oftentimes don't realize what kind of metadata is on the images that they're sending.
Mm-hmm. Even if they do, they might forget to strip it themselves.
Yeah,
Happened to quite a few hackers that got caught because of that.
and it's like if anyone should know to avoid this.
Yep. I mean, they've been stripping it manually for all the images that they sent, except once when they slipped up.
Yeah,
And that's how you get caught.
yeah. I mean, on some level, it's actually like speaking to their skills, right? But it's like if you had actually just like done what you always do, you wouldn't have gotten caught.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to forget to do a thing, right? Like you slipped up. You didn't. It's not even like that you were like bad. It's just that you slipped up.
Yep.
Um, no, I did kind of think like a hacking comedy where it's like all of the tropes and like all of the particularly bad stuff, like ludicrous jargon usage. Again, I think we would have to, if we wanted to do that, like recreate the two people on one keyboard scene because that's just iconic at this point.
It's just classic, yeah.
You know, and then I think also we'd have to have at least one or two scenes of like actually like in crazy image enhancing, whereas it's like how would that work, right? Like, oh, in the reflection of the car window, we can see the guy's face, and in the reflection of his eyes, we can see the license plate, and it's like, huh? Oh yeah,
No,
no, dude, that's like
that would
just
be
like
so funny.
just like a wide angle satellite image, and it just like keeps zooming in.
You know what the best part is? Specifically for this type of movie, we don't even need that high a budget. Like, we could actually do that.
I mean, yeah, we have computers, we have cameras, you know, for filming. I mean, anyone has
And
cameras
we do
for
have a
filming these
bad
days.
sense of
It's called a
humor.
phone. And yeah, I mean, just like a laptop, just like a table.
Yeah. And speaking of cameras, we do have cameras.
Yeah, we have actual cameras too, if you wanted to be fancy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we could make a low budget funny hacker movie. I guess the difficulty would just be actually being funny in terms of like not just funny to us, but like more broadly funny.
Yep.
I mean, the other trope that I do remember that we probably couldn't do quite as easily is when they actually like start visualizing the internet and stuff like that, where like it's actually like going through some like matrix looking and like some pipes or some shit and like you know like that sort
Actually, I think that would be possible nowadays with
I guess,
AI. We can just prompt it to do that kind of stuff
yes.
for us.
Or I mean, even with traditional animation, it probably wouldn't be the hardest thing to do because it's a lot of very simple shapes and it's supposed to look fake. I guess that like animating something supposed to look fake is a lot easier than doing like realistic CG. You know, like this is supposed to look like it's fake computer generated graphics.
But the thing is, if we set out to do it sloppily from the get-go, it will just look sloppy. But if we set out for it to look proper, but do it in a sloppy way, that's the look we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And like
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it, but like the end result is different.
Yeah.
And you can and you notice it.
I actually kind of now have like an entire scene in my head already where it's like they're like sending their hack, they're writing it up, and like it goes in like the visualization of like whooshing through all the tubes, and it's kind of like bonks against the firewall and falls down. It's just like really hyped up, and it's like this whole thing, and it's like building towards like just like oh,
Dude, that's amazing.
um,
And we should totally do this. Like maybe start writing down some scenes and collect them into like an episode, like a pilot episode.
Yeah, I think the main problem is just like we have like all of the like technological like necessities. We probably have like usable props. It's just we don't have anyone who can act. Um,
No, the worse the acting, the better. No, like high effort bad acting.
yeah, no, I was just thinking like I don't know if it works if I feel like it's the kind of thing where like how it takes a good actor to intentionally act poorly. Like
Yeah.
when like an actor has to play a character pretending to be another character and they do it poorly and like that is skill in and of itself. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's always funny when it doesn't work. They apparently for Test from Borderlands, totally random. We played on the game channel like way back when. There's a scene where Troy Baker's character, whose name Reese, has to imitate Handsome Jack, and apparently the director was just like, just do a straight imitation, right? And and he did the imitation. They ran it back and they're like, so actually we need the people able to tell that it's not actually Handsome Jack because like he just like had a spot on him. I mean, voice actors, right? Like acting with the voice, like the whole thing. So his imitation was apparently so spot on that they were like, now do it poorly.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have that problem. We're not good actors. We're
Yes,
gonna act poorly no matter what.
I think there's a difference between like intentionally making it like exaggerated or like off kilter or just like not acting well. I think there's a difference. Also need more black hoodies.
Yes.
Also, we need cameras that do well with low lighting, or actually, no, we don't. We could just make it look darker in post. That actually isn't that hard.
Yep. Huh. Yeah, no, we can arrange that. We can arrange that.
Dude, just like a dramatic black hoodie sitting in a dark room in front of a laptop where like the website, the one where like if you type like random like Matrix shit appears and just like that's basically all you need for a hacking scene.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, we can do something. Just need a script.
So sitting in front of the computer in a Guy Fawkes mask, rips out the Guy Fawkes mask, dramatically is wearing still another Guy Fawkes mask under it. Okay, that's actually just like a stupid bit that they do in movies sometimes where like someone has multiple masks on. It's not even like relevant to what we're talking about. And the Guy Fawkes anonymous thing is like a little far fetched. I do kind of like the idea of like maybe like multiple hackers sitting in a room, they're all wearing the masks. And then like once when they're hacking, they just take the masks off and say they aren't even hiding their identities or anything. It's just like they'll know each other. It's just like a visual gimmick. But
just for the bit, yeah.
Yeah. There's a very fine line to walk between just like genuinely bad and like funny bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if we did it, we would land on the genuinely bad side more often than not.
That's fine, right? It's practice. At some point, we'll land a banger, surely. But yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about this.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, we're probably not going to come up with a good idea for a genuine like hacker movie anyways, because there's got to be more going on than just the hacking, otherwise it's not interesting. And that point, we're just
usually it involves... Yeah, I mean, hacking surprisingly involves little actual hacking. Most of the stuff gets done with like social engineering.
Right.
Anyway.
But at that point, we're just doing leverage.
Is very... Huh?
It's a show about con men, people, whatever.
Oh, I guess, yeah, but like more technical. Like you're conning your way to the server room, or like to some computer attached to the network. I don't know. It still has some techie stuff.
I will say there that could be a move as well. I mean, I've seen like a talk, like a conference talk where like a pen tester was talking about some of the funny things that he like has done in the past, and like I could totally see how that ideas like that could be turned into a movie easily. And the framing wouldn't have to be pen testing; it could just be genuine penetration.
Yeah, actually, honestly, we could probably like license those stories from like people that have actually done it.
I mean,
like not us specifically, but like
I was going
someone
to
with like a
yes,
higher
but if
budget.
you actually want to film them, we don't have the budget for that.
Yeah. Those stories are like genuinely hilarious sometimes.
Yes. Some of those again would just work as like a genuine thing, like a genuine like infiltration.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them only really work in the pen testing context, right? Because some of the stories he was like basically almost like once he realized how easy it was, he was like intentionally doing it worse and worse. And
yeah,
you wouldn't do that if
I heard a story once about like someone doing a pen test like with a whole team because it was like a really high profile target, high profile client, like super high security, fences and motion detectors, cameras everywhere, all the angles, pressure detectors, snipers with like night vision goggles, everything. And like it was like super tough to get in, but once they got in, like nobody cared. Like they were drilling doors in broad daylight. Nobody cared.
Yeah, I mean honestly, because it's so high security, like once you're in there, it's like, they're probably supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
Drilling doors is one of those things where, depending on what kind of job you get as a pen tester, they won't even let you do that. Which, by the way, is one of those other things where it's like, oh yeah, like a lot of pen testing isn't very effective because they'll be like, okay, try to get in, but you can't do X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do then?
Yep. A lot of companies don't like to test like phishing, how effective phishing is.
Okay.
Like, which is like one of the biggest vectors of attack.
Yeah, I feel like the stereotype usually is like the company like sends out a phishing email to everyone, and then everyone who clicked on the link has to do a seminar. That's like I feel like that's like a story you hear all the time, both in real life and in fiction.
Like from what I hear, like a surprising amount of companies specifically don't want that.
Okay.
Don't want to do that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, no,
do.
Also like
no, please continue.
Audacity is like a point, right? Like if you're like drilling a door, like it almost seems like who isn't allowed to do that would be so like crazy to do this in broad daylight, right? So it's a thing where like almost because of how crazy it is, like people just assume it must be correct. I think there was a story where like some people cleared out a store or something, like or like partially like, but by just like putting on some vests and just like carrying shit out. It's like okay, they were like yeah, no, they're probably like, they probably know what they're doing, right? Like they're loading into a truck, like in a box truck. They're wearing like yellow vests, you know, like high vis vests.
Yeah.
Just like going in, grabbing some stuff, going out, walking out with it out the door, just loading it in the truck. Like no one thinks anything of it. It's like,
confidence in a high vis vest.
Yeah.
Like the two things you need.
Works.
Nothing more.
Apparently, way too often.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, confidence. You know what con is short for, right?
Is it confidence?
Yeah, no. Like a con man is a confidence man, and a con is like a confidence game. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. Because it's all about confidence, you see.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think is a great life lesson.
That makes so much sense.
Like, I'm not saying you should actually like con people, but I feel like it is a good lesson to internalize, right? That like just like appearing confident can sometimes like get you a lot further than not being confident, right? So sometimes just like turning up the confidence a bit Again, right? I'm not saying you should cheat people, but like, just in a perfectly legitimate situation, sometimes it still helps to just appear confident when you're trying to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. All right. Do you want to move on to facts?
Oh yeah, right. Boy howdy, this is
Right, so
mine almost feels related, but go ahead.
so you do know the U.S. Secret Service, right?
Yes, it's an organization dedicated to stopping counterfeiting, of course.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say as well. um, yeah, that was my fact of the week. Amazing.
Yeah, no, I knew that one. Yeah, they were originally created to stop counterfeiting because it was like a big problem, and then I think later a president got assassinated, or there was an attempt on the president, and then they got the duty of protecting presidents, which then slowly expanded to include presidential families and other high-ranking officials. And they still do counterfeiting to this day. I mean, they prevent counterfeiting to this day.
Wait, they do? They still do?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's still part of their portfolio to this day.
Wait, what?
Which is crazy, right? Like, because you would think that, like, why doesn't the FBI handle this? Like, which,
Yeah.
by the way, I asked also about the entire existence of the ATF and the DEA. Like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like the US has
it's
too many
because
federal police agencies.
Lincoln was shot that they
Lincoln,
were...
okay. It was that early. I wasn't sure, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, no. And then they started also doing president protection, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a cool fact. I just happen to already know it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna
Kinda
go
crazy.
there, but also like it feels like you know the Secret Service. Right? Like I feel like it's the thing I have to say when you ask me that.
Yeah. That's fair. No, that's good.
So yes, they still
I didn't
do.
know that.
They still do anti-counterfeiting, and then they do presidential protection, and like there's obviously different people that do that. So it's basically just like two completely separate like organizations just under one umbrella. Because I'm sure like somewhere in the higher ups it runs together, but like apparently on the ground level, like it's basically disconnected anyway. So like,
Those sounds so wild to me.
I know, right? Like, what do you do? Oh yeah, we do counterfeiting and we do we do personal protection. Like, okay, that doesn't relate, but okay. Also, like a lot of US,
what is it?
a lot of US agencies, by the way, also have like armed agents. Like the IRS and the Postal Service have armed agents.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I mean, I guess it makes sense over there since like everybody has a gun. But
I mean, it's not like regular postal workers or regular like tax collectors, but I think the IRS specifically when they want to like arrest someone for like cheating on their taxes, like they might bring in armed agents. And I don't even remember what exactly the Postal Service was, but like did they also have armed agents for like again specifically like crimes that are just related to the post in some ways? It just feels weird that they have armed agents, and again, right, it feels like there's like a half a dozen agencies in the US that do like federal law enforcement, and I don't get it.
like the IRS, like it feels weird, but I guess it sort of makes sense. But the Postal Service, what? Huh?
Yeah,
why?
That one I'd only heard recently as well. Like the IRS one I'd heard a while ago, but yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Fish and Wildlife Service also had armed people, but probably for different reasons.
The what? Sorry.
The Fish and Wildlife Service, they probably have armed agents too. I don't know that for a fact,
yeah.
but I would just assume so. But probably because wildlife.
for the wildlife. Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
It's actually possible that they also have like actual agents for like illegal hunting and stuff like that. But whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of U.S. crime. The disappearance of Bobby Dunbar. Bobby Dunbar was an American boy whose disappearance at the age of 4 and apparent return were widely reported in newspapers across the United States in 1912 and 1913. So Bobby Dunbar disappeared. They searched for him for 8 months, and then they thought they'd found him.
They didn't.
But it's probably a different boy. So let me see where the best. Yeah. After 8 month search and the reward being raised to $6,000, which I'm sure 110 years ago was like a lot of money, authorities located William Cantwell Walters, who worked as an itinerant handyman specializing in the tuning and repairing of pianos and organs. Walters had been traveling through Mississippi with a boy who appeared to match the description of Bobby Dunbar. Walters claimed that the boy was actually Charles Bruce Anderson, generally referred to as Bruce, the son of a woman who worked for his family. He said that the boy's mother was named Julie Anderson and that she had willingly granted him custody. Anderson would later confirm this. Nonetheless, Walters was arrested and authorities sent Dunbar to come to Mississippi and attempt to identify the boy. So, yeah, the mother, there's some conflicting reports, but apparently the mother might not have cleanly identified him at first, but then she was like, oh yeah, no, that's my son. That being the mother of Bobby Dunbar. And so when the mother of the boy that it probably actually was like, hey, no, actually that's my son, the police was like, yeah, we're not so sure about that. And she apparently had 3 children out of wedlock, and was fairly poor, so she couldn't exactly afford good lawyers either, and she was seen as like a woman of low character, so she wasn't taken very seriously, and so compared to the richer Dunbar family, kept the boy, who was probably not their son. And it is worth mentioning that in 2004, after an Associated Press reporter approached her family about the story, Bobby Dunbar Jr. consented to undergoing DNA tests. Results showed that Dunbar Jr. was not related by blood to his supposed nephew, the son of Alonzo Dunbar. So they almost certainly got the wrong boy. The guy who was with the boy got sent to jail for 2 years and only got let go on appeal. And they just raise a different kid, and it's unclear to what degree the Dunbars were aware that they just kidnapped someone's child. That is just a fun story about crime, I guess.
It's super fun, yeah. Also, I see we took our facts from the same source again.
Yeah. I was like, there's a chance it's on Sergej's list, but whatever. I'm still waiting for the day that we'd just have the same fact. I don't think it's happened so far, but it's gonna happen.
It has not.
Let me move on to our halftime show, which is Squirtle. And the first word is laser, I believe.
You know what? Let me turn up my light a second, because I am pretty dark, I feel like.
It is a little dark.
That should be a bit brighter.
Yeah, maybe. We hit both ends!
Oh no, that's not good. We don't have any hints now for the ends.
No I's, no O's. Putting in tonic gave us, 2 negative hints on C and 1 positive and 1 negative hint on T.
Yeah, 2 negative hints on C do actually give us quite a bit of
they narrow it down a bit, which brings it down to this 2 by 2, these 2, those 2, and this corner.
Exactly.
I always prefer it when it's a hint like the A or the T here, where you're just it's this 3 by 3. It's easier to keep track of, but
it's so much easier.
But yes.
Also, interestingly enough, we do have an L somewhere in the grid.
Similar, but less useful because it's just the 1 hint.
Mm-hmm.
No I's and O's.
Hey, what's the... Yeah. So, most likely we do have a U somewhere. Also, do I say it right, or are the S's pointing towards the very center?
It looks like it. It's possible. Was answer come to mind? That's not an S. Was answer come to mind? That have that just as how it works, and there are also words where you have a an or on, or technically in, but not in this case, or even on, prefix.
Yeah, and will not work because ace cannot
Not in
go
this
in
particular
either
case,
word. Yeah.
but yes. It is also kind of wild to consider that there is a prefix for every single vowel and letter N. N, in, an, on. Those are all prefixes. Again, most of those don't work here, but just a interesting thought. E doesn't work on this one, so we probably want to put a U there, right?
Yeah. I mean, particularly for this one, since neither A nor E can go there. So it basically has to be a U.
Yeah, I mean, the other one could be an E. As a matter of fact, I think it might be.
Yeah.
Because double unwords would be a little odd to me, personally. I was going to say ensign, but that's too long. Unsee. I hate that as a guess because there's like a lot of E's in there.
Legitimately work much better than the guess I had about unsum.
Well, okay, I mean, if you want to get a crazy guess, I could also suggest unsee with an A.
Yeah.
This is an
That could work.
unsee, or as you mortals call it, a mountain. I don't know. What is the opposite of a sea?
Land. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's what I was saying, mountain, right? Because sea goes down, mountain goes up. Ansu. Also known as dropping your lawsuit.
Is yeah. Wait, ensue, is that not a thing?
Ensue, yes. Wait, is that spelled like to sue, like as in a lawsuit? I think so, right?
I think so, yeah.
The one problem I have with that, not with it potentially being correct, but just as a guess, is it has two E's in it. The cool thing about using it is that if we are correct about a U up there, then putting a U down here would still be very helpful.
Yes.
I mean, okay, so unsee and ensue actually have the exact same letters. They're anagrams of one another.
Yes.
You just have to switch letters. It's not that complicated to see that.
Yeah.
So they're both.
You see, like, the good thing is we don't necessarily have to test the first or second letter. We can
Definitely not second.
only test the last three. So we might as well switch them out for something else that is more useful.
I mean, if we can make it work, we definitely don't want to guess N if we don't have to, right? That's...
Yeah.
Upsu. It's when you put in an amended complaint that has more charges, like more, whatever. I mean that is difficult because there aren't that many prefixes, right? And if we do want to go sue at the end, then we basically have to have a prefix that can go on sue because it's not going to be like in a whole different word.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that as well.
No, I mean it's a worthwhile idea. The problem is that like my mind immediately goes to like, oh, well, what can we do? Like unsue is still a stupid word, but I can maybe consider it, right? Like again, upsue is like even more far fetched, but I do find it funny. Yeah, I don't think there is another option really. I think if we want to go for a sue-based one, we have to go with ensue. I guess unsee is better though. Which I guess brings up the question, what are the other C options? Although, no, that doesn't not a question because then we don't have a U in there, so it wouldn't really be that useful unless we could have like an up C or something like that. I'm arguing un-C is better because A, would hit the U, so we don't have to like go for it again.
Yeah.
And B, we already know that like this row can't have an E and this column has to have one. So putting the E here, I mean, I guess we also know that those rows and columns need one, but they might actually be hit at the least. Where there is like, it can't go there at the very least.
Yeah.
It feels like it gives more information, but...
You know, we would pinpoint the E pretty precisely. Well, actually, no, wait, never mind. We would. For the first column.
So do we want to go with un-C? It's not necessarily how we normally do
Yeah,
guesses.
let's go for that. It is correct.
And the other one is Ensu.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, okay, so this says there's two E's in the column, which means it has to be there, and this says there's a U in the column, which means it has to be there. Like, we know for a fact, beyond a reasonable doubt, that this is Ensu.
Yeah. One thing I also now notice is that the second row needs an A, and it only can go in the last two spots.
That is true. Now, sadly, AU does happen. Actually, wait, It happens more commonly than AE, doesn't it? Because EA is normally how it works in English.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just guess it's here. Which actually is interesting because there also needs to be an E in here somewhere.
Pause.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna put the E at the end anyways, but yeah, no, pause works. I mean, do we just want to guess it right away, or is there anything we else want to like cleverly?
Could be cause.
Cause.
And we do need a C.
Because we do need a C, yes. And if this one turns white as well, then we can narrow it down to actually nowhere. I think if both of those turn.
Yeah, one of them has to either be correct or point somewhere.
Because otherwise, it would have to be at the very center. It's the only spot that I could still go. But we already have yes there. Yes, I was just going to say, there's no way that 4 hints can cover the entire field. They can't. The one spot they don't cover, we already have a letter for. Okay, cause is great. I love that. Do you want to think about, like, I don't know, the first column, the first row?
Yeah, let's go. I mean, we have a similar thing going with the T in the first column. Only can go in 2 spaces.
I can't really narrow that one down, though. I'm thinking the R goes there because, well, putting it there would be a bit awkward. And also we need one in the column as well. Like RUC, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it could probably work. Like Bruce is a name. Spruce is it's too long, but it's a thing. I guess maybe it does work actually. Like the RUs. Well, it can't be an E, of course. So that would be. Oh wait, that's an H, right?
Likely.
And then this isn't an R probably because what we put there? So is it there? Because then it's like that. Which works, mind you.
Yeah.
Ruch. True.
I don't exactly see where you get the R in the first column. Why you place it there? It could go into the second spot. But yeah.
Because ERT is like a very common ending. I literally just like, alert.
But yeah, the first word could be crutch.
But what is
or does it have a T in there? Crutch.
Crutch. I think it does. I think it has a T.
Yeah, this looks wrong. Yeah.
I thought you said grudge at first, which is even more off from the spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I see one that works. Uh, Oruk? Oruk. No O's, right. Uruk. Eruk. It can't be Eruk. No. Oh, wait, I just realized it doesn't have to be an H, it could be a K.
Yeah, it could be K.
I mean, it's still... We still can't put a vowel here. No A's, no E's, no I's, no O's. And W seems unlikely. So it probably still is an R. Because R consonant doesn't work. So it probably still is the R there. I was gonna say Brook sounds like it should work, but it does. It's just spelled completely differently. Druck means Germany means pressure or print. There's crux, there's prick, but they're all like slightly off from what I want. Ruck. Oruk. Wait, fuck. Oruk is those are the orcs, the like the fancy orcs from Lord of the Rings, right? The Uruk.
No idea.
That's not probably not what we're looking for. It was Pruk, Sruck, Druck, Fruck, Gruck, 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 Cruck, Sruck, Cruck, Vruck, Bruck, Mruck. And I don't love it. I mean, I guess we could just try a cause and see if that even is a C. We probably should at this point.
Well, yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Okay. L?
Could be.
Paul. I have no idea if that's like spelling was at all correct. Mall without the E, I think.
Yeah.
Hall. Also, I think generally without the E. Tall. Huh. Wait, the C has to go there. Because it's not allowed to go anywhere else in that row.
Yep.
The R could still technically go after the U. Do we have any other positive hints that we have not yet used? I'm gonna go with no, we don't. Except for, no, I mean, the R is not very certain, but it seems...
I don't see any.
Okay, actually, wait. Now that the C and the E are fixed in the first column, we can maybe reevaluate the stuff that I just said sounded plausible. Because I'm starting to think that maybe it's not.
In the R and T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what does that spell? Quert? Creert?
Ert.
Chert? Yeah. Like what is that? Clert?
I mean, it's Russian for devil. But I don't know.
Probably not helpful.
Yeah.
In which case, the R could actually indeed, as you suggested, look good up there. In which case, the T could also not be there. In which case, this could either be like something like this, like I don't know, Crete.
Wait, why could it not be there?
What?
I mean, it could totally be there in the last spot.
Yeah, no,
Would be crept.
Oh, so sorry. Did I say it can't be there? I meant to say it doesn't have to be there.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it could be crept. You really want to get that P in there somewhere.
It's just a common letter, you know.
Is it though?
I don't remember. what
No,
ranks
it's fine. Like I like it. It works, right? Like
pin messages.
Wait, if this is an R.
I mean, yeah, well, rank 15.
Out of 26! That's the bottom half!
It's the middle of the field. It's fine.
Is it renal again? Why do I feel like it's always renal?
I mean, it could be renal.
It's always renal. I don't know why, but it's always renal, it feels like. I swear to God, we've had renal multiple times already.
I mean, we do have an interesting construct on the right column. Something LEE something.
Bleat. I don't know if it's double E or if it's EA, but bleat is what sheep do, right? Like it's the noise sheep makes. They bleat.
Oh, I see. I was thinking of something much more simple. Bleed
sleet.
with a D.
Oh, what did you say?
That.
Oh, bleed.
Just replace. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Sleet works as well. Like you know, like hail, like not quite hail.
Yeah.
Okay, so the problem with bleed and bleed
is sleek? How is sleek spelled?
Yes, I believe it is spelled like that. So the thing is, I think I prefer the S over the B because CRU ha. Right, like something.
Yeah.
B at the end is probably unlikely. S at the ending is very likely. I was gonna say crumbs, but that's MBS. Wait, crumb! God damn it, it does work!
Yeah.
I think I suggested mall at one point, which does maybe sort of kind of work. Again, I don't think like by default the verb would have an E at the end, so that's a little suspect. Mop, mop, mouse, mod is the first name. Mauve. Wait, that's a color, right?
I had no idea.
Like, I want to say maybe like red purplish somewhere in there. I don't know. I think it's a color.
Could be. Sounds vaguely French.
Tweed. Renew. Peeve.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like Sudoku. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, we're doing columns.
Okay. Wait. So wait. Before you type that, we need to decide if the D is a D or if it's a T.
Tweet. You're thinking they're doing two animal noises in intersect? Well, I mean, they're all intersecting, I guess. I'm still not sure if bleat is actually double E.
Okay.
I will say, I think tweed and bleed are probably more likely than tweet and bleed. I mean, I guess the kind of one is if bleed is, if I misspelled it, then I could just try it and it wouldn't count as a guess. The problem is, if I didn't misspell it, it costs us extra guess to do this. I mean, we're basically done either way, hopefully. But, I think purple. I don't think it's, I think it might be light purple, even. Sorry. I would want to guess bleed preferred, but if you think bleed is a better guess strategically, then...
I don't know, I just want to point that out.
Nah, I think I'm going for it. Okay. What did I say? Crept. You said crept.
Yeah.
And then renew. Bonus guesses all across the board. And it's smart, actually. It now lets us guess the final column. And that is, of course, mauve.
Yeah. That's a good run.
That works. So to sum up, our words were crumb, renal, ensue, peeve, tweed, crept, renew, unsee, mauve, and bleed. And now, naturally...
Okay, let me look up what mauve is.
Define mauve. A moderate grayish violet to reddish purple. See? Told you it's purple.
Yeah. Adam, I do like the color.
Yeah, no, this is mauve.
Yeah?
I think at the end I even said like a light purple. Yeah, it's basically almost pink.
Yeah.
So yeah. Knowing your colors, you never know when it's going to help you. I mean, I guess it didn't help me to know what color it is, but you know. Good questions to ask from conversationworld.com. What is the grossest food that you just can't get enough of? I feel like if I thought it was gross, I wouldn't be eating it.
Yeah, I'm confused by the question.
Like, I'm sure I eat things that people would find gross, but even then I'm, like, actually fairly standard. Like, I like some fish sometimes. Like, some people find that gross. But, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is that really, like, the thing I want to talk about, right? Like, I mean, even my taste in fish is, like, fairly boring, and, like, most of the fish I eat is actually salmon, which is, like, probably the most popular fish. It is, at least in Germany, it is. I think, actually, there was a statistic recently where, like, the most popular fish in Germany was salmon. And then the second most popular type of fish was, like a specific type of salmon? Like, I don't know if it's not technically a salmon or something, but, like the first two most popular fish were actually both salmon. It's like, okay, sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Huh. I honestly don't know. Like, I don't think any of the food I do eat is really gross. Else I wouldn't be eating it.
Yeah, right? That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That is... I'm gonna just say this was written by an American and go on. This just sounds like a true thing. What brand are you most loyal to? So this was definitely written by an American, as I was saying. Okay, I guess a lot of the Western world is very similar. I think I have a good answer for this one.
Well, I guess probably Valve.
That's also
if anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I buy most of my games through Steam, yeah. I would have said Doctor Who. It's a brand, right? Not company. So
yeah,
I guess Steam would be the brand for Valve in this case, probably for you.
I guess, yeah.
But so when they say brand loyalty, my mind immediately goes not to consumer products because I don't have brand loyalty in that regard at all. It goes to media franchises, right? And I was almost gonna say Marvel, but A, I actually haven't been very good at keeping up with the comics, and B, even with the movies not as much. And it's like, yeah, no, Doctor Who, right? Like, new episode drops, I'm sitting my ass in the seat, I'm watching a new episode of Doctor Who, right? It's probably, like, out of anything, like, that I watch, it's, like, the most must-see. And I also, like, am actually like engaging with some of the expanded media, right? So I'm actually a lot more engaged with that than most people. So I think that probably qualifies.
Okay, so quick question, like what would that question entail? Like would it have to entail you liking the brand or just you being loyal to it? Like you using it
Oh,
almost exclusively?
you're saying you keep using Amazon and you just can't stop because it's just so convenient,
Yeah,
even though you like hate the
for
company.
example, or Windows for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I guess no, I mean I have been a bit disloyal though. I have been increasingly installing Linux on my computers. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll have you know. Um, and I guess also like if we interpret loyal that way that I just did, right? Like the sort of relationship sense almost. Then I guess Doctor Who's a bad example because I watch a bunch of things, not just Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So I guess in that case, it would really just be like, oh, if whenever I buy product X, I buy it from that brand, which like
Hmm.
I can't think of anything. I mean, I guess my meds are always from the same brand, but that's just like it's not a loyalty thing as much as it's just like a prescription thing, right? Um,
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. Like, it's not like I always buy like my shirts from the same brand or anything like that, right? I don't. I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah, I don't really do that either. Huh.
I mean, I think we gave enough answers about this that we don't really have
I
to
think so.
go deeper into it. Also, I don't actually use Amazon, like basically at all at this point. Um,
I don't really use it that often, but like recently or like upcoming, I will probably do something that I never even thought was a thing on Amazon, which is like buying furniture
I mean, they have
through
everything. Of
Amazon.
course, they have furniture.
Like somehow I just did not conceive of them having furniture. Like for me, in my mind, it was like something for like small-ish items that like could fit in like a box. You could, I
Yeah,
don't
no, I
know.
mean, I get why you think that, but at the same time, like Amazon sells everything. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so I've seen like a couple seconds of a video when I was scrolling the internet, right? I don't know if this is like a real
Hmm.
thing or if this was just like a joke, but they were like, oh yeah, Amazon sells houses now, and they're like one of those container houses, like it's just like a container with like someone else in it, and whatnot.
It's, huh?
You know, like a shipping container, you know, like
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
and it had like Amazon packaging. I don't know if that was again. I don't know if that was a joke. That probably was a joke. It might have been a
Yeah,
joke, but at the same time, like maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Right? Like again, Amazon sells
yeah,
anything. Like
yeah.
I think they're on Whole Foods, which is like a food wholesaler. Um,
Yeah.
but like you know, like they're trying to like be like the one and only destination for shopping, which is just more reason not to use them as much as possible. Um,
Yes. I have like so the thing I'm gonna buy from them is gonna be a desk and a bed. And I've looked basically everywhere else I could to like find the specific type of table and specific type of bed I want, and it just impossible.
huh?
Like all the common stores just don't have it, period. And looking online to make it custom made, that would cost me like an arm and a leg.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, custom
That's
is
like
just
5K
expensive.
upwards. Like it's crazy. So yeah, out of desperation, I just searched on Amazon and like yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna say like actually never use Amazon. There's good reasons why you might
yeah.
sometimes want to do that, even if obviously you
I
might
I,
not
I
be the
just
most
wanted to
useful.
share that. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of crazy. I mean, with the desk, they have basically exactly the desk I want, but for the bed, it's still a compromise, but it's like the best compromise I could find.
I swear to God, I don't know what like I don't even know what like what distinguishing features you would have on either of those, but sure. I mean, I guess desks I can imagine a little bit, but like bed,
Yeah,
that's
I
just a
mean,
frame for your mattress.
it's
Like
yeah,
I've
but
actually
like
been thinking about like how important beds are, anyways. Like right, like just if you put a comfy mattress on the ground, I mean, I guess it's probably worse
I
because
mean that's what I do now. It's fine, but like if I do get a bed, I want it to be like something that fits in the room, and like first of all, like there's like two complications with the bed that I have that like individually don't even seem like that big deal, but apparently in combination it's like impossible to find. First one is it's like a 90 by 200 centimeters. So it's like a single bed that's like sort of small, but apparently they're like a rarity nowadays. Like barely any store has them.
Wait, 2 meters for the whole bed or for the mattress?
Well, mattress.
Are they
Like
like
the
180 or
length.
something?
No.
Wait, are they... Oh, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people. I swear to God, is that 2 meters? I mean, it might be. Like, it
It
feels
most likely is. Like that.
Huh.
That's the most common size. You would struggle to find anything other than 2 meters. But yeah, 90 centimeters in width. That's the apparently rare part.
I think the number was 80, right? Don't say full
Mm,
meter.
I
Like, it ain't full meter.
usually like the most common one I found is a meter 40
Is it?
for width. It's insane to me. Like, what am I gonna do with all the space? But yeah,
That's not a normal single mattress, though. Like, no. That.
it's the most common size I found for mattresses and beds.
That
Like
is
on
almost a
like
double.
basically all. It almost, yeah, right. But no, it's the most common.
I
Like
think.
all the stores
I
I
must say
went
double
to,
say.
that's
90 might actually be
like
normal. I'm trying to think. I think single for 90 and then double for 160. I think that's what I was. I think that's where 80 came from my head. Not entirely sure though. Um, but yeah, no, that is.
yeah. People apparently nowadays sleep on wider beds. Not sure why.
I once again blame the Americans.
Probably,
I mean, like,
but
have you ever seen like an American movie? They're always like, oh, queen size, king size, and then like always bigger is better, and I don't get it.
yeah, no, takes up so much space, and I don't really use it anyway. But yeah,
I swear to
that's the
God,
first complication,
just
just the
like put two cardboard
size.
boxes under it so that it's like a comfortable height when you get out, and just like don't get a
Yeah,
frame.
and the second one is being the color slash material the frame is gonna be out of, because a lot of them are either white or some like really light wood color,
Yeah, I mean, light wood
which would
colors is
not fit.
fine to me, but
Yeah, which would it's perfectly fine, but like not in the kind of style I want my room to be in, or like the rest of the apartment. Yeah, are you looking at the cardboard boxes in the back?
well, no,
Or
I was showing off my light wooden bed frame,
oh
which my head is
yeah,
normally in front of. Like it actually like
yes,
I just like sometimes this works out this way. Like even if I move, like most of the time my like you can't actually see it,
yeah,
which I think for framing was actually good, but like when I guess it's
yeah.
directions
Right
I go.
now I'm going for a style that has like a lot of dark wood in it.
Yeah, I think it's been out of style for like a couple decades now. Darker wood, yeah.
Yes, I've been looking on like basically the equivalent of like Craigslist or Facebook
Yeah,
Marketplace.
dude, like eBay local listings, um,
Yeah,
like sometimes people just give that shit away for free.
yes, they do, but usually it's also light wood colors. I have found a desk, well, a table rather, not desk, and a what is it? Cupboard, shelf. What's the proper English name? Like for like the thing you put in the living room, right? The big
Yeah, like a
storage
like a cupboard, like a commode, like something like
container.
that. I don't like.
Yeah,
English is weird about the fact that they don't have like one like umbrella term for that, right?
yeah.
Like it's a cupboard if it's in the kitchen, and
Unblunt,
it's like I
basically.
think it's a commode if
Yeah,
it's in the bedroom, which is like already feels. I mean, yes, we use the same word in German, but like it feels weird. Like I feel like I never hear people actually say that in English, despite the fact
yeah, I
that
know.
that was what came up when I looked it up. But like, and then like you have your freaking like your dressers and whatnot, and it's like there just is no umbrella term as far as I'm aware in English,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
One of those things, but like for made for the living room, right? With like fancy-ish engravings and stuff. like handmade sometime, like, I don't know, 100 years ago or something. It wasn't for free, I bought it, but yeah, good quality stuff. But dark wood, and I want to keep with the theme. But man, it's so hard to find
Cabinet
furniture out of dark wood. Cabinet, yeah, that might work.
So, dude, literally, like, I put the drum word in, right? The Schrank, right? Like the umbrella term. It's like cupboard, alternatives, wardrobe, cabinet, and then wardrobe lowercase. Okay, cool, whatever. It's like, yeah, no, like, there's like completely different things though. Like, and it depends on the context, and I don't 100% know which context when. And again, commode apparently is also an English word, but I think it is like not actually that common in real life. So I think cabinet is probably the one you're looking for, in this case. But yeah, no, But see, the thing is, when you say cabinet, I'm thinking glass doors. I don't know if that is actually the case in English, but that's where my mind goes when you say cabinet. It probably isn't actually, but like, you can...
Yeah, I'm more thinking of something to put documents in, but I don't know why.
Yeah, and like I guess cabinet is the most generic term. Yeah, fair.
But
I mean, I will say, right, like, a lot of glass-fronted cabinets, one yellow cabinet.
Yeah.
But not just. I mean, that's just a kitchen. Yeah, I mean, I guess kitchen drawers, you know, like those are, I guess, cabinets as well, you know, yeah. Okay. Not what I had in mind when I said glass front, but yeah. Yeah, but like, again, a lot of glass fronts, a lot of open fronts are glass fronts.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went when I hear the word, but I think it's one of those things where my brain is just like not accurately calibrated.
Yeah. So yeah, basically those two things that shouldn't be that rare, right? But apparently impossible to find. And even on Amazon for the bed, I had to search quite a lot to find something that vaguely fits.
Yeah. You know what? We talked about this for so long. I think we can just move on to the songs of the week. This next question is kind of boring. What is yours? Song of the week.
My song of the week is "I'm Gonna Be" by The Proclaimers.
Hey, I actually like that song.
Yeah. I recently remembered it for some reason and just stuck in my head for the whole week.
It is one of those, right?
So
like you don't think about it for years and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that song exists! And then like, oh, right, like, no, can't forget about the song. Yeah. I can totally see that, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's the song of the week.
It's a great
song. Because it was a song of the week for me.
It's very enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, I always love when that happens, right? Like, admittedly at this point, like 90% of the time at least, my song of the week is just like, oh shit, I gotta have a song of the week and I pick a song of the week. Historically, it has been more so like, oh, I just got into that song, or like, oh, I've rediscovered this song. Like lately, it's just like, just pick a song. Which doesn't mean that I don't like my song of the week. It's just that I don't have any specific connection to this week, because my song of the week is, unless there's something more to say.
No.
My song of the week is Bloodbound by Hammerfall.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
Yep. Two very upbeat songs of the week, both of whom I like and you seem to enjoy as well. And I don't have a ton to say about this because I was like, oh, we were recording a podcast today, song of the week, right? That's how that went. But yeah, no, Hammerfall, I saw that apparently I had 44 Hammerfall songs on my drive, so yeah, I like Hammerfall. I think it might be the most among any among all bands. So yeah, that is they're very consistent as well.
Yeah, they do make good music.
Yeah, and it's one of those bands where like they're very consistent in a way that it's almost sometimes frustrating. Where it's like I actually like all of these songs, but also if I listen to all of them back to back, it just feels like I'm listening to the same song over and over again sometimes.
Yeah.
Like ABBA, Hammerfall, Nickelback, right? Like I don't mind their music. It's just like it's very consistent.
It's samey.
With a couple of exceptions for
you gotta
all
mix.
of them, actually.
You gotta mix a lot of other stuff in between.
Which I mean, I do anyways, right? Like my playlist has like almost 1,000 songs in it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, some other artists, every song is like totally different, but also those are often more hit and miss. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff.
And that wraps up this episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you want to see more like this, then subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have something to say, leave a comment below. Sergej.
That's it.
That's it.